Hi guys, this is Morgan. Before we get started on this episode, I wanted to let you know that we have opened our Patreon back up. So I know many of you have been asking how you can support the show, when can you become a patron, and today is the day. It was on pause for a little bit, and there really was no reason for it to be on pause, frankly. And so I opened it back up, and this is a really fun way for you to support the show monetarily, and you get a lot of fun perks like ad-free episodes. You get to listen and join our monthly call-in show called the Rotocast, where you can join in and ask us anything. The patrons also get the opportunity to pick the future movies that we review on the podcast, and you kind of get to direct where you want the podcast topics to go from time to time. There are a bunch of other features that you can check out when you go to rotoscopers.com/patron. Or you can check out the link in these show notes and you can join directly there. Thank you to everyone who has been a patron past or present or is going to become a patron. We really appreciate it, and I'm excited to grow as we grow the Patreon, to offer more things, to do more videos, to have more exclusive things for the patrons. It's so much fun, and I love connecting with you guys via Patreon. So one more time, you can go to rotoscopers.com/patron to sign up today. Now with that, on to the main event.
You're listening to the Animation Addicts Podcast with the Rotoscopers, episode 370, Toy Story 5, Charley Horse, Charley Horse, Charley Horse! Welcome to the Animation Addicts Podcast with the Rotoscopers, the #1 place to get your animation fix with animation addicts just like you. Each episode, we dive into the wonderful world of animation featuring Disney, DreamWorks, Pixar, and everything in between. From hilarious discussions and movie reviews to interviews with industry insiders, this show's mission is to brighten your day through our love of animation. So hop on your nerdy couch, grab some snacks, and get ready to hang out with your animation besties because it's time to dive into today's episode.
Hey there, Animation Addicts. I'm your host, Morgan Stradling.
And I'm Chelsea Robson.
And you know us. You've got a friend in us. We're glad to be back for this episode of the Animation Addicts Podcast. Chelsea, how have you been?
Oh, fine and dandy as sour candy. How about you, Morgan?
Yeah, I'm getting my old toys out after seeing this and really having my inner child come back to me.
Feel it deep.
Although I will say I've seen lots of reports of after seeing this movie, kids are getting out their old Toy Story toys and playing with them again. And my youngest, he played with them, but it's not like he put them away and now he brought them back out. But he saw this movie and they was like, oh yeah, those are fun toys. He's been playing with them nonstop. So it's been so cute. He's 3, watching him play with Buzz and Woody and Bullseye. He loves horses. So this was like a perfect one for him. He really loves horses.
Do you have a Breyer horse collection?
No, I don't. I know that's a thing. We have the Schleck, it's a different brand. They're not the Breyer horses. The Schleck, I don't know. They just make really high quality sort of like plastic animals. We have quite a few horses, but no, not a Breyer collection. Did you?
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay.
I had about 4 or 5. And then I also had like the Barbie horses as well. I had 2 Barbie horses and then like 3 Breyer horses, and I had them on a beautiful display in my room. I felt this.
So you and Blaze are little bosom buddies right there.
Yes, we were. I was like, wow, I get you, Blaze.
I had the Barbie horse that was the one that walked, and it would very like chunkily move its chunk, 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 chunk.
Oh,
and
that's right.
Yeah, it only worked on hard surfaces, and then if it ran into a wall, it would topple over. If it ran on carpet, it would topple over. But that was a great one. We still have that at my mom's house in the toy bucket for the grandkids. So that's a good one. But yeah, I was not a horse gal, but you definitely were. I mean, you had a horse.
Was. Mm-hmm.
So this is maybe bringing back some memories.
And you rode my horse.
And I rode the horse, yes. All right, in case you can't figure out, we are talking about Toy Story 5. We're excited to talk about this one. This is the 5th installment in the Toy Story franchise. So just saddle up and we'll be right back.
Saddle up.
Alrighty, everybody. So here we are for Toy Story 5. I'm excited for this episode. Before we get started, let's get a palate cleanser with some basic information. So the director, Andrew Stanton, put a pin in that. I want to talk about him. Screenplay by Andrew Stanton and Kenna Harris. Now, from the things what I were saying, she's been elevated to co-director. This is very common. I want to dig into this, why they feel the need to do this so much in animation, but a lot of times the screenwriter, we saw this with Frozen with Jennifer Lee. It's very big in Disney right now, but they'll have a screenwriter and then at a certain point elevate them to co-director. But right now on the Wikipedia, it's just saying Andrew Stanton is director, and the screenplay was by Andrew Stanton, Kenna Harris. And the company, we obviously know, production company Pixar Animation Studios, distributed by Walt Disney Animation Studios. Release date, June 19th, 2026. This is supposedly the biggest, the most expensive animated film ever made, $250 million. And I put a pin in that. I want to talk about that. And so far, the box office in just barely over a week is $588.5 million, which... whoa, holy guacamole. Wow. So it had a really, really big opening weekend. I think it did $159 million. And then even Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it was just still, I mean, it's the summer season. This is a very classic, well-known franchise. People know Toy Story. They like Toy Story. They love Toy Story. So they're coming to show. And even this past weekend, it did really, really great. Let's see. It did about 60 plus million dollars, just doing some rough back of the napkin math. But yeah, this is a good one. And if we're going to go to the Rotten Tomatoes just to get a feel for what other people are thinking about this, the critics have it at 93% and the audience has it at 95%. So what
was your theater experience like? Did you see it as a preview, or was this off of your own dime?
No screening. Yes, my own dime. Took all my kids. The screenings are getting harder now. We have a screening tonight, and it's like I feel very awkward asking, like, "Hey, can I have 6 seats?" I don't think that's how it's supposed to work, and obviously it's not. But for the family films, they'll say, "Hey, bring your whole family." But most people don't have 5 kids. Excuse me. I have 5 kids. The baby, I don't know, she still doesn't really count because she just sits with me. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so for tonight, this is a little tangent time, but I'm seeing Minions, or Monsters and Minions and Monsters, and I have 4 seats total, and there's 6 of us, and I'm like,
who's staying home?
do I just appear with all the kids and be like, oh, whoops, we could share, that's totally fine. Like they have small little bums, they can share. Anyway, so we have. We went to our local theater, Fat Cats, and we are members of Fat Cats, which means I did this because in the summer we go to enough movies that it's worth it, but I pay to be an Alley Cat, like a gold member Alley Cat, which means that I get no fees when I pay for my tickets online. Huge savings. Yeah. And saves me from having to drive down there early to get good seats. And we get $5 Mondays. So we had a $5 Mondays and we went, and my theater was packed, and it must have been other Alley Cat members too. Maybe not, but yeah, so we got there and had a jolly grand old time.
I like it. I'm glad.
What about you? You didn't go to the Panorama X screen again, right?
No, I didn't. And even they had a 3D version as well, and I was like, I will not be going to that. I don't like 3D. But the X screen, I don't think this would have been very cool in X screen, so not something I would have recommended. I thought this was a good amount of time. What was funny is I was ended up sitting my roommate was with me, and then also we just got seated in between this like group of people, and so you had one group on one side and on the other, and the girl that I was sitting next to that I did not know, like it was just really funny. At the very end, you could tell that both of us were on the same page, because we're just like, that group chat's the worst. And she's like, I get it. So like I felt there was a kinship in this.
You and the stranger. I love it. So, okay, let's talk about Toy Story 5. So we had our theater experiences. What are your overall thoughts of the film?
I thought it was cute. But not necessarily needed. I thought the level of enjoyment that I had out of it was about the same level of enjoyment I would have out of one of the shorts. Mm-hmm. It wasn't something that I there were moments that I felt where they tried to really bring in the emotion. And there were moments where I was like, I might feel something. My cold, dead heart might feel something right now. But it doesn't. And I think, because I just go back to watching the original trilogy and like the true feelings that I got when I saw those. And there were a lot of people that were saying that they cried during it, but I'm like, once again, am I out of touch?
Am I so out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong.
Exactly. I just feel like it's been done. Like the whole arc has already been done.
Yeah.
And it was done in Jesse's song, and then now we're back doing it again.
Yes, that's one thing that I felt too, is that this whole movie really rehashes so many themes and even plot points that have been done in different movies. We're doing it again just because. We're going the childhood trauma, or the trauma of losing your child, of not being played with, of being abandoned, being lost, whatever.
The toys trauma, not a parent's trauma.
Yes, the toys, not the children. Yeah. Yeah. And like you were saying, they succinctly, so well did Jesse's story in one song in Toy Story 2. Just that one, like 2 to 3 minute song. We're able to fully understand everything that happened to her, everything that Emily meant to her. And then we get resolution at the end when she decides that she doesn't want to be in the museum, but like to give another child a chance, right? And this one just felt like, oh, we're opening this wound again just because we need to. And Jesse needs to be the star, because why not? We need Jesse to be the lead here. Which, that's fine. I like Jessie as the lead. I really have no problem with it, except for they don't go anywhere with her that we haven't already gone before. We're just kind of like on a loop with her. And, different similarities between Toy Story, being invaded by a new toy. That's very Toy Story 1 with Buzz and Woody, but this time it's Jessie and technology and having to deal with that. And then just the whole Emily of it all. It's like, if you're going to go all the way with Emily, and they have this big moment that I did cry. That's because I get very sentimental about the idea of growing up and that.
Right.
I remember even at Toy Story 2, at being 12 years old or so, that I cried during that part, because I was that age where you're like moving beyond. Yeah. And so I did cry during that part, even though up until that point I was like, I'm feeling nothing for this movie. But like, they know how to get you with that really emotional beat. And they did. But it just had been done so many times before, and it didn't really do it for me. I feel like if you're going to have Emily as this key point, why don't we just bring Emily in? Why can't they still be living there? And have her, maybe her discover Jessie, or introduce her to
really see how old she is.
Yeah, but then maybe they're separating the gang again. If Jessie gets found by her old owner, then we have yet another core toy leaving the franchise, which is not great. So I can kind of see why they didn't do that, but they wanted to talk about this and like, oh, you made a difference. She named her child Jessie.
And I think it was a good tie-in, but it was a real miss, because they really could have leaned into the fan theories that Jessie's mom, that Emily was actually Andy's mom. Oh. Because Andy, like they always said, because Andy only has Jessie's hat. He doesn't have Woody's hat. He has Jessie's hat. So because it's the red with the white around it.
Oh, Andy, yes.
Andy, in his movies, the cowboy hat that he has is actually Jessie's hat. And so the theory online was that Andy's mom was actually Emily. And that could have been amazing. It really could have been. But they didn't want to do that. Well, all right, fine.
By Toy Story 2, she would have recognized her, right? Hey, it's you!
Right.
We talked about this before. You would recognize people that grow up.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. And she would have recognized her own toy from that point. Yeah, for sure.
It just felt like, hey, they had this emotional beat that they're like, this is really cool. We want to discuss this. And it just feels shoehorned in. And that's how I felt like a majority of this movie is. It's just very contrived all throughout. We have the technology and the toy, the lily pad, and that's very that's an interesting thing that they do, but then it's contrived on, okay, well, Jesse's going to have to end up over here at this place, and then it's contrived at the very end. You know, they have these buzzes, which I love. I think the buzzes are the coolest part of the whole movie because they're so fun, and they take Buzz Lightyear back to the Buzz Lightyear that we knew, or were introduced to at the beginning of the first movie, where it's just straight out of the package Buzz, and they're all working together, this commanding unit, very military-esque. And it's fun, but it felt like a Toy Story tune to me, or one of the TV specials, Toy Story: The Time Forgot, or Toy Story of Terror. And I'm sitting here every time that comes on the screen, I'm like, this is really fun. I really like this storyline, but it feels like, where are we going with this? Like, it felt very inevitable. Like, oh, the two paths are gonna meet, and they did.
Right. Yeah, and it's I don't know. It just felt like overall my feeling was like, it's fine. It was cute, okay, but in the end, pretty forgettable. And the problems for me, I don't know. I thought it was cute. I'm not going to say that it was bad. Like, I give it, like, I would say fresh enough. I don't know if I
fresh enough.
It was fresh enough.
It's not stinking yet.
Yeah, but it still was like, there were just so many things that, like, the entire time I'm thinking these parents are the worst.
Yes. Can we talk about them?
Yes. Being a not parent, but also being very aware of the dangers of this kind of these types of gadgets and gizmos aplenty for children under specific ages. Like, okay, we're millennials. We had the opportunity of all generations to have a life prior to technology and a life consumed with technology. And so we know what it was like to not have it. And we didn't have to regulate ourselves when we were children to be able to be without it, because we had the ability to, we didn't have it there. So we knew how to be young and how to have toys, how to play. But now, I even look at my nieces and nephews, and I feel like a lot of the times there is just, it's so easy to just be like, just do this, just take the screen, and it's just so easy to do that. But I've seen so many crazy statistics how this, like, Gen Alpha and below is, and even like throughout, like, the kids that were in elementary school and stuff, it's like their scores for testing and creativity or whatever are much lower than any other demographic higher than them at that age. And so it's like, okay, what is different? Well, we definitely have something majorly crazy different with screens, and every class is with a screen. There's no books, there's no tactile things. Like, you are just looking at a screen. And I see the dangers of that. Not to mention the connectivity part of it and how dangerous that part is. Like, they're just like, hey, look, you can connect with strangers, make new friends. And I'm just, what? No way.
This was driving me crazy. I think everything that we know about the dangers of the internet, like when we were, little wee ones, teenagers on the internet, it was like, don't talk to strangers on the internet. It was very clear. And now I think the internet has, for some reason, changed where it's like, that's okay. But I feel like the dangers of talking and meeting and chatting with strangers on the internet is very well known. Very well known. Okay. Not saying that there aren't some good things that can happen, but it just was a huge miss for me.
To Catch a Predator is a huge show.
The problem with doing this as a movie is that already comes with, like, a moral attached to it. If you're going to have screens in your poster being the big bad guy, we already know that there's going to be a lesson or a moral that we're going to have to learn at the end of it. Whereas Toy Story, it wasn't like we're going to have, like, you couldn't really figure out from the poster or the trailer alone, like, where the lesson or the moral was going to be, right? But this one is like, okay, we're going to have some sort of message on technology. He-Man's going to come at the end and tell us, hey, kids, be sure to do whatever. Right. But so if you're going to tackle this, you have to do it boldly. And they didn't do that. They show, okay, I'm just going to list some of the negatives that happen in Bonnie's life because of technology, right?
Okay.
Instantly, she becomes She has unfettered access to the internet and to the device. Okay, they just hand it to her. They say, "Oh, we're going to establish, rules tomorrow, but today you can just play around with it until the end of time." Okay, and then 2, she becomes a zombie. She enters the zombie state where she's just sitting there, tap, 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 tap. 3, she's doing brain rot games and activities. Nothing that she's doing with the lily pad ever is shown to improve her language, her skills, her cognitive abilities. It's just like, we're playing this turtle game. I'm tapping my screen and jumping over a rock. It's just dumb stuff. And then she's introduced to group chats and cyber communication in that way. These pseudo friendships where when you're not in the real space with people tend to be very mean or different or react differently. So 4, cyberbullying enters the conversation. And then 5, at least these are the ones I was thinking of, is then strangers have the ability to message her.
Case in point.
Because the toys know her screen name, they're able to message her from Blaze's account. But nonetheless, a random stranger sets up and just sends her messages.
I have your toys.
And then 6, yes, I have your toys. Like, how about, hey, child, do you want to see the toys in the back of my car? I have them.
Do you want to see your toys again? Do you want them again?
And then lastly, the ability for, her pictures and identity or toys or whatnot to be like just put out on the internet and then people to message her about it. Like there's some sort of message board component. I'm not sure how that ended up working, but again, it's like a computer but they've like put it into the tablet because that's very friendly. It's like a phone, I think, but phones weren't as applicable to younger groups, and so they make it a tablet, which obviously is just as it's the same. It's all the same at the end. And so I'm thinking, okay, wow, every single one of these instances has brought nothing but bad things to Bonnie.
Right.
So what are we going to learn from it? And they don't even go the obvious everything in moderation, which I thought that's where it's going to go. It's like, you need to condemn this. You need to talk about these bad things, because I think people could see this and just be like,
right.
Well, that wasn't so bad. And then she's like back at it. We don't see her at the end back on the tablet, but it's implied that like that's there. It's not going away. And I think that's because they don't want to have that message of, no, these are really bad for young children.
Yeah.
And they just shouldn't be introduced. They don't want it, I thought, wow, she's throwing herself away. We got another Forky situation. Like, yes. And of course, they save her at the end of the day. And the parents.
Yes.
The parents are total NPCs through this entire thing. And it's just because they're a conduit for the plot. And they have no real like cognitive ability to be like, maybe we shouldn't do this. There's the one time at the beginning, like, are you really sure that we should do this? And they're reading like the marketing blurb. It says, make friends. And they're like, I think it will really help. Like, are you so dense? You think that this is going to help? She's 8-ish. That this is going to be the solution to your problems, is where she can just be, go online and be able to communicate with people there. But on top of that, it just was so dumb, because Bonnie's all about toys. Bonnie loves her toys. She's always loved her toys. They have these contrived moments where she has to go and retrieve the toys. Like there's, oh, wow, this random person online says they have your toys. Let's go get it.
Exactly.
So they go and get it. And Bonnie goes up and she's all sheepish and she's always holding on to this iPad or, whatever. And then she's like, hey, here's your toys. And then we drove all this way out there. It seems far away, but not far away. I don't know. And then she's like, no, I don't want them anymore. I don't play with toys. And the mom's like, oh, okay, sorry for wasting your time. Like, no mom would ever do this.
Take your toy back.
Take the toys. Take the toys and talk to the daughter later. Like, she's going to want them. Like, these are your toys. This is your property.
Right.
What are you doing? It's like, that was so infuriating to me, because I'm like, this is no parent would do this. No parents, 0 parents would do this. You would collect the toys. You'd go back and have a conversation. Right? And then it happens again when Blaze comes to her house. Here's another stranger who somehow got your address because your daughter gave her the address. and Bonnie's like, no, I don't want him anymore. And she's like, oh, are you sure? Okay, well, I guess I'll take it. Like, Blaze is dumb too. Like, Blaze is like, okay, sure, I'll take your toys. Like, but again, the mom doesn't say.
Weren't you the one that told me? So
neither of the parents are like, no, these are, neither of the parents are like, no, these are yours. Take them, please. Like, so we don't have to keep doing this again.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, but you can put on a funny beard and play. And it's like, oh, hey, mom, does she want to play? Can she stay over? Okay, great. It's like the moms have never met. Right. Like, and she stays over at the end of the movie. I'm like, this is so unrealistic. It's taking me out of it, and it's really frustrating.
Well, and then you're thinking, okay, there are parents that work at Pixar, and they approved this?
Andrew Stanton is amazing. When I saw that Andrew Stanton was doing this, I thought, okay, good. But then I went back and I remembered, he actually was a screenwriter on the first Toy Story, and he's been involved in all the Toy Stories. I think he was a screenwriter on the first 3, and on the 4th one, he was kind of like the brain trust, input. But so I'm like, he knows this. But then with Finding Nemo, he specifically did that movie because he was a parent and he saw the concept of helicopter parenting and how that was a problem. And he created this movie to explore that concept, right?
Right.
And so I thought, okay, he's a parent. He gets it. He doesn't get it. I'm shocked. Either the studio was pushing, like the studio execs, the big folk,
right,
the suits, were just pushing him in such a way that they weren't able to really do what they wanted to do. But it was odd because I felt like he could have had a grasp on it, or at least anyone at Pixar. If I were there and been like, hey, red flags, stop.
Do you think that there could have been influence from like other departments because they make money off of the apps and they make money off of actual technology stuff? Like, they don't want to actually tell children technology's bad because then we won't be able to do all these other things.
And that's why this isn't art.
Right.
It's just another piece of corporate product that you are putting out, because it supports the brand and the identity. People have been calling out, and I noticed this, that they have lily pad covers for your iPad that you can buy, and they're Toy Story 5 branded, and they look like lily pad, and they're so cute. But I'm like, did
we not learn our lesson?
Did they not learn anything from this movie? It's like, yes, we know technology bad. Here, buy our stuff.
Exactly.
Because we know you have the stuff anyway. You're not going to get rid of the stuff.
Yeah, so consumer products came in and said, but we still want to sell the lily pad cover, don't we?
But you can make $50 million in 2026 alone just on lily pad covers, right?
Right.
Right? This is an expensive movie. It's okay. And so one thing that I thought, that was a big thing. I thought really they should have been bold with their messaging. Like, why do this if you're just going to be very milquetoast about it? But then I thought the better way that they could have done this, they should have involved the parents with their screen addictions.
Yes.
What parent or adult is not tied to their phone?
Right.
And so when you're looking, they always do these pan shots of people in the movie staring at their screens. And the children are always on the iPads. And the adults, for the most part, are seen on computers.
Right.
Occasionally on the phones.
Uh-huh.
And I thought it should have been the other way around. They really should have showed the parent, like, even in the midst of being with children, like, not paying attention to the children, because there's this aspect of we're losing play because of technology.
Yeah.
But they should have taken that a second level, and children are losing play with their parents because of technology, or losing this connection.
Right.
And so I thought they should have been a little bit more introspective on this and had the parents have to learn a lesson too, and throw their phones away at the end. Not throw it away, they always do this at the end of the movie, like, we're throwing it into the fish tank at the end, and we know we're gonna fish it out later, but it's it's a symbolic gesture. And I think if the parents realize, we were a problem, and because we were so sucked into our devices, we allowed this to happen, and this we didn't see these problems. Wow, let's make a change, all of us.
Yes.
I thought that would have been really good, and it would have allowed me as a parent, and I think a lot of the parents in the audience, to have to reflect and think about this film more than, it's just a fun kids movie to take the family to.
Yeah. And they could have, as I mentioned, even the millennials. Okay, so we grew up knowing both, and then to have some kind of a message of parents, you now have lost what you already had as being able to be without the phone. Okay, but I have my phone on way too much, and
Same.
that is a huge problem. And when I'm with nieces and nephews and stuff, it's still like, oh, who's on my phone? As if my phone is more important than hanging out with my nieces and nephews. So there are so many issues that I have with this, and I'm very open with that because I know this is something I would like to be better at. Also, everything about my job is on the computer, and so there's one more reason to just get rid of a screen. You can do this during a set time. Just get rid of screens. So anyway, and you can show, I think, because most of the creators are people who work from a computer, because they're Pixar, they see themselves as on a computer. But if you go out into the real world, quote unquote, you see everybody on their phones, and they're just kind of wandering, and their kids doing whatever, and they're missing out on play, as you said, play with their kids. Right. So there's a lot that could have been brought out with this, but the whole thing for me was just stranger danger. Like, you are bringing in to catch a predator, and this is so dangerous what you're doing. So like there's just a lot of things that's like, I would think that people who worked with tech would have these same thoughts, but instead they're just going along like NPCs themselves.
Yeah, it was unfortunate, and so let's talk about, Lily herself. I thought, so she was okay, but I don't think she really was that sinister.
No.
There's a few things that she does where she goes into the OS and she deletes messages and she actively creates these things because she thinks that what she's doing is best for Bonnie. That for Bonnie to be happy, she needs these friends. But I didn't really buy it that she was in it for Bonnie's happiness. Like, I felt like it would have been better if the device was so self-serving that it didn't matter the effect on Bonnie. Like, it really and again, they would never do this, but she should have been such a sinister, like, villain that her whole, like, hey, I'm sucking you in. Yes, I'm getting, this is my power. I'm being...
Like, algorithm.
Yes, yeah.
Don't blame me. Blame the algorithm.
Or Lily doesn't even need to be sentient. No. I think just the fact that it existed could have been enough, and the toys couldn't interact with it like you normally would. That's kind of scary, and that's odd for them. And that would have been an interesting way to do it, too. But then again, we have Mr. Spell from the first movie, who's like this tech device who speaks in his own funny way. But I don't know. That's Mr. Spell, okay? He's like an actual toy.
Yeah, I think they should have done it where the actual casing was the toy and would talk, as opposed to the device itself.
But it was like this all-in-one. It's supposed to be like that leapfrog, leap pad. It's just like a conglomeration of a bunch of things.
Right. And so that's how the plot moved forward, because the other potty time thing was able to connect to it. Like,
Smarty Pants.
But even that was just creepy.
I was like, wait. So first off, I don't understand the purpose of a child GPS toy.
Yes.
It looks like a hippo. Like, it's a funny gag, but like, really, what is the purpose of this? Children aren't driving anywhere. They're definitely not riding their bikes places that they need a GPS. Like, it's supposed to be like this dated tech. But I'm like, well, who was buying this? 20-year-olds that wanted something like goofy, kind of a...
Well, this was like a 2010 or something,
kitschy knickknack sort of thing.
Yeah. Or it would have been like 2020. Like, that's crazy. Oh, gosh.
So I was trying to figure out the timeline of this movie, because the old tech that Blaze has abandoned is this kind of like pixelated, late 90s, early 2000s sort of stuff. So I'm like, okay, if Toy Story 3 is in 2010, is this supposed to be early 2000s or 2010-ish tech, like,
probably
time frame? And so the technology is from 10 years prior, because that makes a little bit more sense. But I don't think we're really supposed to look into it that much, but
it does make sense.
No, it's for the plot. It's like we're going to make these things connect because.
Well, and the camera is definitely like a 2005 kind of camera. So like, you and I, millennials, know our tech. So we know our generations. Like, what camera?
Although they do kind of make cameras like that nowadays for kids that have like a LCD screen, and it's still like it's not a very high quality camera.
But it still would have been like 2005 quality.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about Conan O'Brien.
He was in there?
Yes! I had the same reaction. So we have Smarty Pants, and he's funny enough. I'm just irritated that Pixar, we don't do potty humor. No, but I guess we do. I mean, I guess they do potty humor because they had Bo going tinkle on the potty in Monsters Incorporated, whatever. But yeah, so we have him, and people are loving Smarty Pants, and I'm just like, he was fine. And then I found out he was Conan O'Brien. I'm like, Conan! I was expecting a little more for you. Like, I didn't universally love his performance. I thought he was a fine-ish character. But as a parent, I'm like, what's the purpose of this toy? And I guess that's the point. It's a commentary on these really bizarre, like, yeah, we'll make a toilet trainer that's a digital one for 2-year-olds or 3-year-olds. And they push the button when they go 1, and they push the button when they go 2. And then if they have a 1.5, which I'm like, they claim that's a fart. I'm like, no, a 1.5. If you're mixing the two, it's kind of not that.
Mixing.
That's just my opinion on it. But yeah, so we have this like toy
Something's wrong with your digestive tract.
Yeah, I think it was just supposed to be a commentary on some of the asinine toys that they create for children that people buy.
Yeah, I don't know. There were so many parts. I did really, as we talked about in the beginning, I really appreciated all the horses that they brought in, because there have been a serious lack of Breyer horses in the Toy Story franchise. So we're just bringing those in, and I appreciate that. I did get a lot out of, okay, I know that you have said in past reviews that you hated Blaze's name.
Oh, as a girl?
Yes.
I think that is the most bizarre name. That's what you name your horse, not your child.
But here's the thing. When you grow up with cow people, like people who are cowboys and cowgirls, like they do this.
Okay.
So
okay,
this
fair.
is not out of the realm of
Did you know a Blaze growing up?
I did not know a Blaze, but there were many people that I knew that their names were completely made up. And just they wanted, like, I'm just saying this type of thing would be normal. And yeah, so I think that is I think that's fine, because it makes me feel like, okay, she must actually be a cowgirl type girl, and she's got her one horse, and she's got a pet pig.
Daffodil.
So once again, I'm Jimmy Dean.
So funny.
Like, wait, isn't that the... Oh, that's not good. I appreciated those jokes. So I liked her.
I liked the cowgirl aspect. I thought that was really fun to lean into. We get a little bit more country. And she appears to be a real cowgirl. I mean, she has the horse. She wears the boots. She wears the jeans. She has the belt.
She feeds the horse.
Yeah, she feeds her. We don't get to see her ride her. I think maybe that was a bit too much for the plot. They already had a lot on their plate, but it would have been cool to see. We see Jessie ride the horse.
Yeah. And I just, the thing about the Blaze character, I liked her, but also she just seems so much older. And that was kind of weird.
I think, yes.
But also, Bonnie seemed so much younger. Like, they said she was 8, but, like, she still looked like she was 4. In the animation style of her looks very young. And I'm not saying that, like, there aren't kids who grow up a little slower and maybe look super young at age 8. But it was
slower, but you mean a little more immature, or...
Well, their body just hasn't caught up.
Oh, okay.
Like,
not cognitively slower.
Not cognitively at all.
Man, you're really dissing Bonnie here.
No, she's
a slow one.
She just looks younger. Like, I've definitely known children who
she's innocent,
younger than what she was, and I've definitely known children who looked older than what they were. So okay, I can see that it, like, potentially they are the same age, but it didn't seem that way, and so that also added a little bit of a. Are we sure? Are we sure they're friends?
Yeah, I think they were trying to say, hey, you know, age, you don't have to be friends with just kids that your age. Like, you can have older friends, you can have younger friends. But it didn't quite work for me. Like, it really felt like Blaze was in, like, this aging out. And I think they were trying to say, hey, you don't have to age out.
Like, she had a full computer.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't have to age out. You can still play with Barbies until the cows come home. It's not a big deal. And she was awakened to this childhood that maybe she was getting ready to leave behind. And then Bonnie was prematurely leaving it. And they were able to find this friendship together to allow them to continue to play. I get that. But I feel like it just it took me out of the movie, where I shouldn't be like, really? Oh, okay.
Right.
You know, it just seemed very unrealistic that they would stay friends. They live, clearly this is like the suburbs, and then you go a few streets over and there's, you know, the county island, the previous ranches and stuff. So they're not that far away, but it just seemed it would have made more sense for her to be a child in her neighborhood where the other children were, like, because she made it seem like when they do that pan at the beginning, all the other children in the neighborhood are on tablets and on screens. But maybe she just didn't know, and if she would have zoomed out one more street, you would have realized there's another child just like you, just another street away. You know what I mean? Rather than a whole rigmarole to get there. I think that would have been a little bit more satisfying for me, because then I could have really believed that they would have stayed friends. They'd ride bikes to each other's houses back and forth, you know?
Yeah, on the other side of the cul-de-sac, if they would have actually gotten together with the Johnson twins.
Yes.
Yeah, I felt like there was, once again, I thought this was fine and lovely and also forgettable, you know, fresh enough. And but there were just so many things that just really like made me very concerned for Bonnie's safety.
Yeah. One thing, I saw an interview with Tim Allen saying that he had to do re-lessening of his voice, which to relearn how to speak in a younger affect, a younger version of himself, because he's now 30 years removed from the first time he did these characters. And he said, sometimes I fall back into my gravelly, you know, his old man voice. And I felt the three main stars, which are Woody, Buzz, and Jessie, you can tell at moments that their voices have aged. But specifically Joan Cusack, who plays Jessie, I felt like 90% of the time we were getting Grandma Jessie. Yeah. And that was distracting for me. I think if I were to put them side by side, I definitely would have seen that. And I can definitely see how there were moments where I was like, that's kind of, yes. It didn't stand out to me as much as it did to you. Yeah.
I can see it, but I don't think it hurt me as much.
Yeah. Like I said, I love the buzzes. I thought they were really fun. They just felt shoehorned in to fill time. Yes. They felt like filler, and we're going to have this funny moment at the end where they save the day and they fly, and I'm just sitting here thinking, okay, Drone Buzz is going to be recalled in 3 months post-launch, just like those fairy flyer things, you know, that we had in the 90s where you'd push the drawstring and go, woo! And the fairy would fly around, and you've seen the one where someone gets it at Christmas and it immediately flies straight into the fireplace.
I've seen it where they like fly right into somebody's eye, like ah!
Oh, for sure. Yeah, those were recalled. Okay, so those were the analog version of this, which is like a full-on spinning drone, and so you know someone's gonna get a finger cut off. That's not good. You know, Disney consumer products or whoever is in this world, they're gonna have to.
Well, and also the fact that it was the high-tech version. But then it doesn't show up until later. They get whatever update they needed in order to fly.
Firmware update,
like, I feel like they should have had that update from the beginning.
That's very common. They do this as a parent. I know this is true. They had these Lego Mario things that were an interactive Mario that had a component where if like you put him on a red Lego block, the sensor would read that he was on fire, and so he'd be like, woohoo, fire, ah! And if he got him water, he would start making bubbles, and then you could jump on like different platforms and he'd get coins. And they do have to have updates, which is really annoying. So that felt very true to form for me. I was like, oh yes, you think this is cool to put tech into your toy, but then the tech doesn't work unless you're connected to the internet, and then you have to update it from time to time, which is annoying. I don't like it. So
it's like having tech in your fridge. I'm not a fan of it. Yeah. Like in order to turn on please keep my water pitcher full, I have to connect it to my phone. What?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It makes this episode makes us sound like we're complete Luddites, but we really do. We like technology. Technology's fine.
I spend my entire day on technology, and I actually really appreciate AI for what it helps me with. But there's things that it's like I also see the two-headed sword, like the two-edged sword of it. It's like, oh, you have to accept it all in order to jump in, but that doesn't mean that I have to throw my kid into the fire. That's where I stand.
Yeah. I really liked the imaginative play scenes where they had the stylized version. So with Andy, we've seen that he kind of goes into it. It's like nothing's changed except for it's the same animation style. You know, we in Toy Story 3 where he has the Corvette with, you know, the bad guys, and the trolls are the orphans. And it's just really fun. And then this was a different take on that, which was more whimsical, kind of like painterly. And I thought that was really fun. We have Bullseye speaking, you know, for once, and he's done by the great Alan Cumming. He's the host of The Traitors, and he's also a very renowned actor. Oh, right. And I thought that was a funny voice for Bullseye. And so I really enjoyed those moments. I really liked Mrs. Potato Head playing the organ at the wedding. I thought that was of course she's playing the organ. That was perfect. And I guess another thing I didn't really love is they really are trying to make it's been 10 years into this like girl boss thing in Hollywood, and they really want to make Jessie the sheriff. And every step along the way, they have to really iterate that she's the boss, that Woody is the deputy, or Buzz is the deputy, and they have to bring down the men in this multiple times. Even in the wedding, he's wearing a kilt, which is a masculine Scottish garb. But I think it was to kind of subvert that, to show like he's wearing a skirt and she's wearing the bow tie, and then she dips him and he does the leg thing, which they did to Ken in one of the Hawaiian vacation sort of things. But Ken is Ken, and I can get, you've done the joke already, fine. But they do it for Buzz, and then they do the same thing with Woody and Bo Peep. Like he's always like, oh, well, talking about the poncho. He's like, well, Bo likes it, and it just seems like. And then she's the one driving, and then she's the one calling the shots.
Yeah, and she's like, "Did you help him? All right, you know." Like she's like,
yes, like it was very. It bothered me. You don't have to bring down these male characters to show that you have a strong female character, or even in a relationship. They can be equals. Like Buzz they really needed to redeem Buzz in this movie from what they did to him in 4 and made him just an idiot. Yeah. Like, and it's so funny because you see what Buzz can be with the other Buzzes, but then he's just this dope and just very Woody is more submissive, I think, to Bo, but Jessie puts him in his place, and she's not respectful to him as a partner. And then he gets the Kristoff treatment of my whole story arc for this movie is, how am I going to propose? And then he doesn't even do it. You cannot throw him a bone. His whole arc was like, I need to get the courage to do this, because that's a big deal. And he doesn't even get to do it. And so it really bothered me. And then all the dads are just very soy boys, it seemed to me. Like, come on, Pixar, what are we doing? This is a boys brand. It does have mass appeal to both, but initially for Toy Story 1, it was very much a boys brand, and that's why they brought Jessie in for Toy Story 2. And I now think you could probably say it's a 50-50 brand, maybe leaning more boy because of Buzz and Woody, who are just such bigger stars. But they really wanted to make Jessie like her own thing here. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, what did Jessie do that was much different than what we've seen before?
Yeah, do you think that they were able to do that?
No. I didn't take away anything from Jessie here that we hadn't already discussed or explored in other movies.
Yeah, as said before, you basically got and I think they also took her back to how she was in Toy Story 2, and the fact that she was so afraid at that point.
She can't move on, yeah.
And so it's like, didn't we learn something at that point? And so now she's even at the point where she is with Andy, and now changing over from Andy into Bonnie. Like, she didn't have the same issues going over to Bonnie, and so it's like, now, oh no, but this is my girl, and it's like, are you like, okay,
yeah
so it's like you've reverted, and so you're no longer a growing, and how do you grow if you're a toy? Like, there's only so many things that a toy can overcome if that's their main issue, is, does my kid love me? And that's why I agree that they really should have moved this into a parent story versus a Bonnie story necessarily.
They're getting way too existential with the toys and trying to, like, the deeper they get into this, the less it makes sense, because it's like a toy's purpose is to be a toy. Whether you're played for with 2 minutes and you're a McDonald's toy that gets in the trash a week later or forgotten under the bed, or you're a lifelong favorite toy that gets nonstop play like Woody, the life cycle of a toy is to be stopped being played with at some point, and that's okay. And I feel like they don't ever have this closure of it's okay to be in the box in the attic, which is that's very morbid and sad. But I mean, it's so because they create these problems for themselves by doing that. And I felt like this movie, it's like we don't need to the generational trauma of the toys again and again and again. Can't we have something fun where they just discover something else and go on adventures?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I thought. We have a lot of fun other toys that we introduce. There's the toys that are left behind at the twins' house. There's the toys that are left behind in the doll house. And the toys that are left behind in the main living quarters of Blaze, which are the tech toys that were, in closet or something.
In the drawer.
Yeah.
In the drawer with the batteries.
Well, there was a funny moment when they were negotiating for extra batteries. Like, bring some extra batteries.
Like, RC had batteries. I'm just thinking about all the other tech toys that they had that they didn't
RC
have.
never would have lasted as long as he did. Every single one of those stupid RC cars dies within two weeks.
True. But the point is, like, it's not like they haven't seen a tech toy in the past, So,
right.
I don't know. There's just parts of it. It's like, yeah, and Mr. Spell, and what's the singing microphone, and, like, there's a lot of things that they just kind of forget, let's not talk about that. Hey, shut up, okay?
Yeah, they want this to be, like, apparently they've greenlit 6 and 7 for this.
No.
So, are you surprised? I'm not surprised.
No.
I was like, of course they did, because this is going to be a franchise that we're going to get new movies every 3 to 5. I mean, this one's been 8 years since the last.
I mean, they have to change who's the stars at this point. Like, if Joan Cusack is already seeing, like, the grandma,
or they just need to recast like they do Mickey Mouse. I mean, I don't know. Why would you go to new toys every time you go to a new, like, this has been done so many times in different franchise. Like, whenever they try to do the new cast of characters, people don't care as much. I was just reading a thing about Ash from Pokemon. Mm-hmm. They finally retired. They've had so many series, like, since 1998 or whenever when the anime came out, and they finally retired him as the main star in 2023. Like, he always had different cast of characters coming in and his sidekicks, and he always had different Pokemon come in as new games are released, but Ash was always there. And it's like a bummer because people like Ash. Like, he's just the staple. Like, it's fine. We get new voice actors, but like Ash needs to be there. And I feel the same thing with Toy Story. It's like, you can't slowly transition this to who.
It's like a Luigi and a Mario.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
they're your people.
People came for that. That's your bread and butter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with this. My prediction is they're going to somehow find a way to get all of the toys back to Andy. Because I think that is, like, looking back at it, Toy Story 3, the whole original trilogy, had this perfect ending. It was, like, so bittersweet.
So Andy's got kids now, and now he's like, oh, I wish I had my toys.
Yeah, Andy never should have gotten rid of those family toys.
Yeah.
Just, like, donate them straight up. Like, no, I mean, this is a family toy. That's why he wasn't in the garage sale, right? Like, this is something you keep for the grandkids. Not that 20-year-olds think about that. Like, children don't. Right. They just get rid of toys, and you read Reddit posts later, like, I got rid of my favorite toy. I can't believe I was so short-sighted. It was like, well, honey, you were 10.
I do think about that, because I was thinking, okay, what toys do I actually have? I don't have really any, except for I have the Pain and Panic. Well, the Pain. That you gave me, and then most everything else I have a couple of little statues that I still have, but they're not like toys. So I am without toys for youngins.
Well, that's why there's eBay.
Yeah, I don't.
But you don't have that. Like,
you don't
need it. Like, it's just it had its time and place, and that's fine. But I think they really Andy's gonna have children. And there's going to be a way for the main crew to end up back at him. That's my prediction of what's going to happen. I don't know when or where, but I think the Bonnie storyline will end in 6, and something else is going to happen in 7. And I don't know. They're going to have to bring. It was also super frustrating with Woody. Like, Woody was supposed to be gone. Like, he made a choice. To be like a carny, essentially.
Right.
And he was just going to have
a wayward toy.
Which never made sense to me. Like, he was going to have unending fun by being a toy in a playground. Like, with wandering children, they're just going to play with him and then, like, drop him and leave. I'm like, 90% of the time, someone's going to be like, I like this and take it home.
Right. Exactly.
I don't think this was thought out very well, but he's like right there. Like he's within walkie-talkie range.
Right.
And so I'm like, you just undid anything that maybe you were trying to do with 4, and the stakes are gone because he's just a phone call away. I'm just a couple of blocks away.
That's a good one. But you're also looking at how they have to bring back every character from every movie. Like the fact that I am perfectly happy that they brought back Kaboom, but at the same time, like if they hadn't, I would have forgotten about him completely. Like he's not somebody that I was like really wanting to check in on. And it's not like he had very many lines anyway. It's "ooh da toi," basically it. And so it's like, oh yeah, him. So I feel like that's where a bunch of your budget bloat comes from.
Well, they had the 2 stuffed animals. I can't even remember their names. Like,
yes.
And they have they standing in a tree and they kind of wave, but they do not speak because
they want to pay them.
Why bring them back? Yeah. And apparently they've had sort of a falling out. It's like, who cares? A gig's a gig.
Just play the gig.
You're saying one line? Yes, just play the gig.
That's a Muppet Treasure Island quote.
Muppets Treasure Island. I just watched that with my children, and that was probably my favorite line of the whole thing. It's just a gig, man.
Just play the gig. Don't get political. If only we all took that anymore.
Yeah, it's hard. They're having this expanding cast of characters, and what do you do, So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, are they going to keep Andrew Stanton? Is this what Andrew Stanton wants to do for, the next 10 years of his life? Is that he's just get in the bag.
Yeah.
Get in the bag. I don't know.
I know it's a big bag.
I'm sure it's a great bag. Yes.
It's got to be a great bag.
But if this is the guy who's done WALL-E or Finding Nemo to this, it's as an artist, it doesn't seem maybe maybe he doesn't want to be. I don't know. I'd love to interview him. So,
why did you take this job?
No. Definitely. Precisely. That's exactly what I would say. I mean, why wouldn't you? This is just like money in the bank. This is money in the bank. You've done so many things.
And if it's going to be done anyway, you might as well make sure that they don't ruin it.
Right.
So I can totally see that angle of why he did it, and it's a great bag. I can't bash somebody for wanting their bag.
And someone who doesn't have the bag,
As someone who doesn't have a bag,
I appreciate someone who goes for the bag. Alrighty. So last thoughts, and what would you rate it?
I'm pretty sure I gave all of my major thoughts. I would say I would rate this. Let's go with 3.5 stars. I thought I would give it maybe a 4. But I was just like, I can't do that. That's not even up there. But considering I gave 4, 0 stars, 1 star maybe, I am a much bigger fan of 5 than 4.
Oh, interesting. I think this is the worst of the bunch. I like 4 a lot more than 5.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I hated 4 so much.
I give this 2 stars. I think it had too many idiosyncrasies and things that really took me out of it that just didn't make sense on just any sort of level. Like you needed to have this passed along to some parents or something to, do a read through. It just really was frustrating the way that technology and everyone's obliviousness to it, or when it's very well known. Yeah. The dangers of this, and not to be one that's like no technology ever, and there is like a middle ground that you can have, but it's like you said, there's the studies, like we see suicidality in teenagers and youth, and it's all tied to the screens. So why can't you be bold and discuss that and have that conversation? And that's the problem when you, like I said, when you go into a movie where the main character is a message, essentially.
Yeah.
So,
wah, wah.
Yeah. Fun times. Let us know your thoughts on Toy Story 5.
So now that we've totally down this, the thing is, there's a lot of people who really liked it.
Most people really liked it. Everyone I've talked to really liked it. So, but I did notice something interesting. Like everyone's kids really liked it, but I was kind of paying attention. People going into the theater saying, "Yay, we're seeing Toy Story 5! So excited!" And a lot of times people will give their little, "We loved it. It was great," or they give a little review. But I saw saw way more or less people just not even following up with review after the fact, making me wonder if it was just kind of meh for most people. But I think most audiences like generally enjoy movies.
Yeah.
Even if it's not that great. Like they're not kind of digging into these deeper themes and meanings and
they're just wanting something to
continuity and all that stuff. Yeah.
To turn off.
Like did I have a happy time? Did my kids enjoy it? Did we make a memory?
Yeah.
If that's what you're going for, great. But for me, analyzing the movie, one I want to go back to.
We're podcasters. That's what we do.
There are scenes and elements that I like, but as a full movie, which I did see this twice. I saw it the first time. I didn't even mention, I forgot this. I saw it the first time alone because I was going on Rachel's show. And so I needed to see it and I didn't get the press for it. And then the second time I saw it with my family. And it didn't win me over at all the second time. But, you know, I love horses. Horses are great.
The horses were cute. You had the fact that Buzz is on the winged Pegasus. I'm like,
yes, so funny. Yes, I loved all the horses, and everyone picks one, and they all go for a big ride. It was funny. That was a great moment. You know, that's a top moment out of the film. But yeah, let us know your thoughts. Go to rotoscopers.com/370. Give us your rating and review of Toy Story 5. And our next episode, it's another rural film.
Yes.
We are going to be doing Sheep Detectives.
Out on the pasture.
Which is a film I had seen a while ago, and Chelsea just saw it. And so it's now on Amazon Prime because it's an MGM Amazon film. I've seen quite a few of these MGM Amazon films recently, which I think is interesting that they're really going all in. But at least Amazon is smart enough to release these in theaters.
Yes.
You know, we have Sheep Detectives, Project Hail Mary was one of them. There was one other one that I saw. I think it was the He-Man one. So, which is a follow-up from that huge box office bomb.
Aww.
But who cares?
I enjoyed it.
Chelsea enjoyed it. So that's what's coming up for our next episode. You can leave us a voicemail before that one. And yeah, we probably are due for a good feedback show coming up. So if you have any voicemails you'd like to send for films that we have reviewed in the past few months, please send them and we will do a special voicemail episode I'm seeing Minions tonight, so we'll probably go see Minions sometime in the summer, next few weeks. You will see that in your podcast feed. So send them in, go to rotoscopers.com/voicemails or give us a call at 406-646-6575. And that's all we have for today. Until next time. We are the Rotoscopers. And we are back again. We belong together. Wait, I'm trying to think of a clever Toy Story sort of pun.
Are you typing this into ChatGPT?
I am. I want a good one for this one. Sorry. Oh, these are just terrible.
You got a friend in us.
Yes, okay. That's better than that. This is what it says. Hey, everybody. You've got a friend in me and in this podcast.
Oh, no.
To infinity and beyond. The next episode. Welcome back to podcast name. Reach for the sky. We're back for another round of stories that'll knock your stuffing out of you. What?
No.
There's a snake in my boot and a banger of an episode in this feed. Let's roll. Yeah. Okay. We'll just use our own brains as we normally do. Okay. Oh yeah, those are fun toys. And so he's been playing with them oh dear. Okay. Don't touch that. It's just a piece of corporate,
Yeah.
another piece of corporate sludge that you're putting out. And not sludge.
Yeah.
What's the term I'm thinking of? It's just another piece of corporate I kind of had no problem with Jessie. Sorry, I have a cramp in my foot. Ouch.
Charley horse. I remember one time we were doing a sleepover at Alex's house, I think, and like you just woke up or before you went to bed or when you woke up, or I don't know, at some point in time you started like getting a Charley horse and you just started hitting your leg and you're like, Charley horse. And I just have this memory of you doing that.
Nice. So I feel like that's our title. Charley horse.
You've been listening
listening to the Animation Addicts Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and be sure to leave us a 5-star review. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you want to help spread the word, be sure to share the podcast with your friends on social media. Just don't forget to tag us at Rotoscopers on Instagram and use the hashtag Animation Addicts. For all the links and full show notes for this episode, go to rotoscopers.com/podcast. Now, if you still can't get enough for your animation fix, be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and visit rotoscopers.com for more animation news, reviews, and interviews. Thanks for listening.